Namaste, everybody. Welcome to Indic seminars. We have Subhashji Gandhi here with us today, a scholar and a practitioner and a writer on the Bhagavad Geeta or related topics. He has been practicing for several decades now and has his own revelations and experiences throughout his sadhana over a period of years. His latest book being The Eternal Order of Living around the Bhagavad Geeta, and he's also written extensively on life and living according to the Gita. So we are anxious to hear about, very eager to hear about his experiences today, and I'll hand it over to you, Subhashji, to explore the topic with us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Shri Ram, Jai Sanatan. I am so glad to be here today, and thank you, Prasadji, for inviting me. I'm very excited about today's program, and so let's just start. Before we go forward, I would just request you to do something for me, all of you. This is according to Shlok number 13, chapter 6 of Bhagavad Gita. And I would just request you to just follow what that Shlok is saying, and we can do that practically. The Shlok is Samam Kaya Shiro Grivam Dharyana Achalam Sthira Sampeksha Nasika Nasika Gramvasya Disha Sa Anavalokana. So what this Shlok means is, please make your neck and body in one line, and just straight, and without looking in any other direction, simply focus right here. This is the Shlok number 6 and 7, and that's what Bhagavad Gita is telling us to do, to concentrate our attention. So whatever we talk about today and whatever you listen to today gets into your system, and you can take the best advantage of that. So remember, this is Agya Chakra, and you are simply concentrating with your closed eyes. You are not putting any pressure on your eyes, like the Shlok has said. And let's just do that. All we're going to do is just simply breathe in and out twice, and on the third time we will just chant only one time Om. Alright? So please, everybody, relax, drop your shoulders, stay easy, and simply breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in and chant Om with me, please. Focused. Breathe in. Om. Thank you. I said, let's start from the beginning. So what is the beginning? Let's start from the beginning of the creation. How the creation came into existence, how we became existent, and what is the purpose of our life. We're going to talk all this in today's program. There's a Shlok in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3, Shlok number 10, very important Shlok. That is a Sahayagyaha Prajaha Srashtva Puro Vach Prajapati Anena Prasvishadvam Aisam Ast Istakamathuk. Okay, that's a Shlok. So how do we know what it says? Now before I explain that, let's start off how things happen, how things are made, how things are created. Take the example of manufacturing a car. So how the system of car or any product works? There are engineers in the program, and I'm sure there are other people who are very knowledgeable. So first, everything starts with a concept. Start with a concept. So the concept is, I think we need to make a vehicle which is going to make people move from one place to the other efficiently and save time. Concept. What happens after the concept? People get together and they start writing specifications. And then what happens after the specifications are written? A design is made. The drawing board comes into the picture. And then based on that, after the specification and design, what is the next step? Writing procedures how to create an automobile. Then comes the production. Now the automobile is made. Now what now? So if we made the automobile, can you just sell it? Here is the most important point. To be able to sell the product, you have to have what is called a manual. Right? You all have automobiles and you have the manuals. Any problem, you refer to the manual, it tells you what the things to do, and most of the things you can fix yourself or then go back to the garage. You got the sequence? Right? This is exactly the situation in Sanatana Dharma system of life. The concept came that a word has to be created. How are we going to do it? The Brahman, the force, the power, the grandest source of energy, decides to create a word. He has an idea as to he wants to create some kind of product. What happens? The Big Bang starts. Even in Bhagavad Geeta and other Sanatana scriptures, they talk about Big Bang. Big Bang starts, so the concept is starting to take shape. The creation is starting. The creation starts. Now what? People have to be created. The creation is what? Mother Nature. The entire universe. The plants and the trees and the rivers and mountains, etc., etc. Now the time comes into how to get this creation working. So without going into too many details, I'm just coming back to this shlok now. Sa yagya praja srasva puro vacha prajapati. When the humans were created, they were told, here, you have been created now, and here is what you're going to do. So, the human beings appear, and all of a sudden, they don't know what to do. So they have been giving instructions what to do. Coming from Bhagavad Geeta and many of our scriptures, Vedas, Purana, Upanishad, Smritis, etc. So these are the specifications. Bhagavad Geeta is a procedure. Now from the procedure, what are we humans going to be doing? So from the procedures, which is Bhagavad Geeta and similar good books in our Sanatana Dharma. So now we need a manual. Because everybody can't read the Sanskrit in Bhagavad Gita, and the problem is not everybody knows Sanskrit, and the people sometimes who even explain, they are not very well versed in Sanskrit, or they add their own personal thoughts in that, and somehow things become confused. So what do we do? How do we, ordinary human being, can understand what is Bhagavad Gita? What is it telling us? So the instruction, the manual is required. Our system is so wonderful. So now is the time to have a manual. Manual as to how to live, how to run your life. And that is where this book comes in, which is my 7th book. And this is called The Eternal Order of Living. Order of living. Order of living, Dharma. The eternal Sanatana. So you translate this, the eternal order of living is the instructions for living as explained in Sanatana Dharma. Now what is Sanatana Dharma? You'll have to read this book. We'll talk about how we can get to you people, how this book can be of benefit to you, your children, because it is written in simple, straightforward English. So what does it tell us? It tells us what is life and creation, what is love, what is attachment, what is unattachment, what is mind, body and soul, what is soul and reincarnation, and the realities of life. Things like Om. What is Om? Where is Om? Why Om is so important? Why we should even be bothered about it? It's all there in Bhagavad Gita. All there. Like Bhagavan Krishna said in chapter 8, shlok number 13, he said, Omiti kaksharam brahma vyaharana mam anusmaran yah prayati tajan deham sayati paramam gate. Or it tells in Bhagavad Gita, Abrahma bhavana loka puniravartino arjun mamopepitu kaunteya punarjanma na vidyate. What is he saying? Abrahma bhavana loka, from the earth zone to the causal zone, which is also called Swarga, and in between the astral zone, which is called Akashlok. Bhagavad Gita is saying, between these three, simply reincarnation takes place. Okay, so 3 zones. Well, what are those 3 zones? What do they mean? You know, Gayatri Mantra, for example, Om, Bhu, Bhuva, Swaha, Tat, Saviturvarenyam, Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat. Bhu, Bhuva, Swaha. So what is Bhu? What is Bhuva? What is Swaha? Bhu is the material zone where we live in. The Bhuva is the intermediate zone, also called astral zone. Swaha is what we refer to as heaven or hell, whatever you want to talk. These 3 dimensions, these 3 zones, there are 4 on top, there are 7 down. How do we know all these things? I have covered that in my book. And let's talk about Om for a moment. Why Om is important? If your children ask you, Dad, Mom, what is this Om? I need to know. And if you do not give them satisfactory answer, then they try to quench their curiosity by going in different directions. We have to stop that. We have to make sure that our children and ourselves, we understand. This is the biggest problem in Hinduism, that we know all the kriya kands, which is the rituals, which is beautiful and we must do it. Excuse me. Like Diwali, Raksha Bandhan, Dussehra, things like that. That's beautiful, holy. That doesn't make you a Sanatana Dharmi. Those are the rituals which are part of the system. But to know who we are, what we came from, we have to work hard, we have to go and find out. It's in Bhagavad Geeta. Everything is in Bhagavad Geeta according to me. Which is, I call a specification, and I call my book the manual. Easy to understand. So, we, the customers of, so-called customers of Sanatana Dharma, who should know how we have to operate in our life. Very important. Those instructions. So Om. So what is Om? If you just go to the internet and type the word in your browser OM, enter. Just do that. It will tell you the definition of Om. People say, oh, well, what is an internet and this and that is not true. And, these are just excuses for not learning. Have a positive mind. Read and watch what there is, then honestly and truthfully decide yourself if it is correct or not. Does it make sense? You will know whether you have to trust the information which is being given to you. You will know. Your inside will tell you, specifically when it comes to spirituality. Because you yourself are the master of your spirit. That's what we all are. Soul in the body. So what is Om? You will find it says, Om is the first primordial sound which was heard at the start of creation. I will just go to my book here and suppose it says, where is Om? Chapter 1. So, subchapter 8. So I go to that. And what is Om? I'll read it to you from my book. Om is the first audible sound at the very moment of the creation. The primordial sound at the manifestation of Brahman, the eternal, never born, never ending, indescribable, and the original source of everything there is. Everything in between the creation and its eventual dissolution is shrouded by this entity called Om. I will practically show you that in a minute. So Om is the primordial creative sound from which the entire universe has manifested. Big Bang? Does that remind you of Big Bang? Next. Where is Om? The shroud of Om is vibrating continuously and endlessly within the entire creation. One can realize this through spiritual meditation. Om is the eternal energy guarding everything that exists. You're probably wondering what I'm holding, why I'm holding a balloon in my hand. So let's this is the way I look at it, all right? And my revelations tell me how we were created. So just think of a tiny little balloon which has a little opening here, and we are going to energize that through we are the source of energy, just like the Brahman, and we are going to energize, we are going to create something. There's nothing here right now. So just in the vacuum, in the grand vacuum, which is called a Mahashunya. So if there was no place, where would this thing appear? The creation. In other words, where is here? Where is here? Here is where the place of this grand energy exists. Now that wants to manifest, and you cannot see energy, you can only feel the energy through its equipments, right? It's there. You can see it, by the way, if you have reached high level enough in the spirituality. But this manifestation is what I'm talking about. Now think that there's something is just going to come out. So look what I'm going to do right now. I'm just going to try and blow this. You hear that? That sound comes while I'm creating this balloon. I'm making this balloon. And through here, it's just the creation is starting. All this is explained actually by a grand Adi Sant Kabir in his writing. Everything is chronologically explained in that. But you have to do your research and find it. I'm trying to just put it what I have myself learned through all these things. So just listen to that sound. And what is happening? This is expanding. The shroud is expanding. Within this, the entire creation exists. And the blowing is still going on. Even the scientists say that the universe is expanding. Now, while this is being blown, just think of a normal party balloon you have, and you see little stars in there and little things, right? They have been put in through what? The same process, right? They have been fed into. So this grand vacuum or the grand darkness in which everything is happening, this shroud is shining bright and trying to energize whatever is in the creation. I know it's a little hard, but please stay with me. It will be very clear in a couple minutes. So all these stars and speckles have been put in there by the Creator, just like we put them in a balloon. And the balloon itself is expanding. And this shroud, which is still giving the sound Om, recorded sound by scientists. But I've read that this sound exists, it's still going on, that humming is still going on. And it is giving us the energy. This shroud is also, the glow of the shroud is called Dyav. Please remember that word, D-Y-A-U, and I'll talk about it in a second. And you all know this word, by the way. If you know the Shanti mantra, you know. You say Om Dev Shanti, Antariksha Shanti, Prithvi Shanti, Apah Shanti, Oshadaya Shanti, Vanaspataya Shanti, Vishvedeva Shanti, Brahma Shanti, Sarvagam Shanti, Shantireva Shanti, Sama Shanti Redhi. Dev Shanti. So whenever you think of that mantra, remember that Dev is this thing, the glow of this thing. Without that glow, nothing will exist. In that glow of this is energy, which you can see once you are in the path of spirituality, going up and up. Yes, you can see it. So what is happening? Now the universe is expanding, like I told you the science said, and they also eventually said that everything is going to go into a black hole. And then what will happen? Watch. Everything goes back to where it came from. The final dissolution. It is all explained in Bhagavad Geeta, by the way. Okay? It says, I'll tell you the shlok, and then further, if I'm allowed to go to further programs, I will explain these things to you. It's very simple. It's shlok number 18, chapter number 8. It says, Avyaktada Vyaktavya Ratri Agame Praliyantre Tatreva Avyakta Samyake. Remember, today is Life and Living 1.0. Okay, so there are further lectures explaining more things. But right now, let's just stay with Om. Om, that's what it is. The sound which is humming through the entire creation, 24/7, 365. And I am sure very soon more of these details will come. All this information, by the way, is in our scriptures, especially in Bhagavad Gita and Upanishads. It's a matter of just deciphering the code so we can understand. And that is my job and the job of people like me, a job which we have been given to explain. So what is happening when that breathing, that it's creating that universe? Now that is entire is what we call creation. And what is handling this, maintaining all that, is what we call Mother Nature. Mother. It's all that this entire womb, which is in the which is that total shroud of Om. The Mother Nature is created, and then in that Mother Nature's womb, what is happening? There are shlokas in Bhagavad Gita which explain that I, the Brahman, impregnate that womb of Mother Nature and create human beings. It's in Bhagavad Gita. I have done translation of Bhagavad Gita in English, Hindi and Gujarati as well, and taken out the literal meaning of these shlokas as they apply to our life in Hindi, English and Gujarati in my previous books. Because we need to know exactly what is being said and exactly what it means and how does it apply in my life, why should I read it, why it is important for me. So ladies and gentlemen, here I have tried to best of my ability to explain how the creation started. And remember, when the balloon is just fizzing out, again, it's all through the same Om going on, and it's going to the black hole. And now the scientists are saying that the black holes eventually, they do their job, and then in this entire creation, the white holes start. Okay? Okay? So that the shlok number 18, which I was telling you, it tells you how the whole things happen, the process of black hole and white hole, creation and dissolution. It says, Ratri agame praliyante, tatreva avyakta sangyake, and in the beginning, avyaktad vyaktaya. Sarva prabhavanti aharagame. In the daytime of the Brahman, when the day starts, of Brahmaji, another issue we'll talk about some other time, that from the Brahman came Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. Well, actually from the Brahman came the Prakriti, जिसको हम बोलते हैं Maya, we call it Maya, right? And through Maya, Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh came with their own functions. Don't confuse them with Brahman. Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh are the grand entities from the Supreme God, Brahman, who have been given responsibilities to run this creation. Think of a company called God Incorporated, and the president and CEO is the Brahman, and he had 3 major department heads, Brahma, Vishnu and Mahesh, who are running this creation. It's very simple. It's very well explained in our Vedas, Puranas and scriptures. And this particular slok is telling you very clearly that in the morning, in the beginning of the day of the Brahma, the manifestation starts. The unmanifest becomes manifest. Avyaktaya, avyaktad, vyaktavya. The unmanifest becomes manifest. Sarvama Prabha Prathamanti Aharagame, in the beginning of the day. And then the evening, they Ratri Agame Priliyante. Priliyante, it dissolves. Bhakteva Avyakta Samyake. The process keeps on going. So clearly, so simply written in Bhagavad Gita. And in my opinion, many people, some people, go through these things, try to understand them, and come with the theories. This happened and that happened, and the theories. Then later on they are either proven right or proven wrong, depending upon how they were interpreted in the first place. Even Einstein's E is equal EM square is being challenged. Even what we call artificial intelligence. What it is artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence, ladies and gentlemen. Not a real intelligence. It has its own pros and cons. Things keep changing. The theories keep changing. The information about gravity and it's how does it work and etc., and many other things have been very, very grandly explained in our scriptures. All the knowledge exists, all the algebra knowledge, the geometry knowledge. Algebra is called Bij Ganit. Bij Ganit, original, the seed of mathematics. Geometry is called Jayamiti. Trigonometry is called Trigonomiti. And we have the word for this earth, the explanation, and you all know that word. What is called? It's called a Bhugol. Bhu mane Prithvi, Gol mane round. It's been existing for years and years and years. Be proud of your heritage. Be very, very, feel very powerful that you belong to Sanatana Dharma. Be thankful to God, thankful to the Creator that they gave us the opportunity to be part of this grand Sanatana Dharma. Energize yourself with that. Because everything is energy, and energize yourself within the energy. It's all there. It's all very well balanced and set. There's a word called entropy. E-N-T-R-O-P-Y. I'm sure some of you are familiar with that. When that balance is changed, things start becoming upheaval. That energy balance has been created in such a way, so scientifically, so mathematically, it's unbelievable. Let's go back to now. I said the word in the beginning. Brahma Bhavana Loka Paniravartino Arjuna. Slok number 16, which is my favorite slok to explain the creation. Now, you will ask, why do I have to know all that? Well, here is the answer. We want to know that. We want to know ourselves, who we are, what we are, how we are created, and what are we doing here, and what is going to happen after I die. What happens after death? It's all covered in my book here. And in future times, I will go through the entire process. It's in Bhagavad Geeta, by the way. It's not my design. The point is that somebody has to go in there and honestly and truthfully bring out, uncode or decode whatever is written in those shloks. They are very powerful shloks. Same way mantras, very powerful mantras. What is a mantra? I'm just making everything general today. This is my first opportunity. What is a mantra? Why mantra is important? Here is the scientific answer for that. What is mantra? Mantra is a specific utterance of certain syllables. So, which creates the vibrations for a specific purpose. Now you will say, how does that work? Well, here is the answer. The answer is, have you heard of ultrasound? First, originally I'm an engineer, registered professional engineer. Originally when I was doing my apprenticeship, in metallurgical engineering, I had the opportunity to learn ultrasound. We used to call it ultrasonic machine. That was developed to find cracks in the metals. The steel which was which was made, and the object of steels, there would be a probe which you put in. So you were sending waves. What waves? Sound waves. And that sound wave, there's a system which will tell you whether there's a crack or not, which sometimes even X-ray couldn't find. Eventually, that ultrasound now becomes such popular that you can even tell whether it's a boy or a girl in the womb of a woman. So much advanced. And that is also used to cure people, ultrasound. So mantras sound, when you speak those mantras in a special manner, it creates vibrations which helps the one who is listening through exterior vibrations, and the one who is chanting the mantra through vibrations which are being created internally while he is saying. I will chant right now the complete Gayatri mantra, which I've explained in my book here as well, because Om Bhur Bhuva Swaha is Tat Savitur Varenyam is the one generally used, but the major mantra, okay, which is actually Om Bhu Bhuva Swaha, Om Maha, Om Janaha, Om Tapaha, Om Satyam, Om Tatsavitur Varenyam, Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi, Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat, Om Apo Jyoti Raso Amrite, Brahma Bhurvavah Svarom. That is the entire mantra. It's very powerful. So, short form of that, which is also wonderful, which is used everywhere. Om Bhuva Swaha Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi. Please watch my mouth. How the sound is being created through our figure. Om Bhu Bhuva Swaha Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Na Prachodayat. You see how different way the mouth is working? The mechanics of those vibrations is what is important. That is why they say that if you do these mantras, any mantra for example, it gives you a desired benefit of that. Because you are doing a physical exercise with those mantras. Your health will improve. Your spirituality will start waking up. That's the value of mantras. It does not exist anywhere in the world. It's only in our system, Sanatana Dharma system. Enjoy that. Fulfill your life with this knowledge. There is so much. And the question, sometimes people say to me in my programs or lectures, well, Gandhiji, why I have to know that? Well, you have to know that because it is good for you. Your purpose of life, oh God, no, I'm just coming to a total different field here. We'll talk about it later. Purpose of life is explained in Bhagavad Geeta as well. It's not making money and getting degrees and learning so many things, and it's not the purpose of life. This is a process to go through the life, yes, which is great. But that is not the purpose of life. So if you sit down after the program, just to ask yourself the question, what is the purpose of life? Be honest. It is going to be very difficult for you to find the answer. Somebody say, well, my family should grow up, I want my children to settle and this and that, etc., etc. I want to make enough money so as to support everybody. By the way, everything is done for us. Yes. We are like a spoiled child who has been given everything and we misuse it. That's what a spoiled child does, right? So let's bring our thoughts together, try to be more objective, just concentrate, have total confidence that you will be all right. You may have problems, which mostly is your perception, but you will slowly and slowly upgrade yourself. Once you have learned principles of Bhagavad Gita, once you have learned the fundamental of life, who are we, what are we, why are we here? There's answers to all these questions. First of all, be proud of yourself. Be very, very jubilant that you are born in the system of Sanatana Dharma. If you have any questions, we'll talk about it in a minute. But right now, I think it's time for me to put a full stop here for today. I wish the best for all of you. May God bless you and your family. May the power of Brahman empower your life. I'll see you again. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. Thank you.
Dhanyavad Subhashji. Wonderful talk. It was a great 45 minutes with you. And I loved the last statement you had. Be proud of where you come from. You're born in the system of eternal laws of truth, and you have so much to offer, so much to learn, and we have to progress individually and as a society together. So the forum is open for questions. So if you can raise your hand in Zoom, then I can just unmute you and you can proceed with your audio question directly, or you can type in chat and I can read it out. But so far nothing. So I will start with my question. Okay, first thing, Bhagavad Gita is sometimes it's full of contradictions. All these different types of yoga, different types of systems of reaching Godhood or Paramatma are presented. So in today's life, my question is, in today's context, what would be the three things that we can do to practice the principles of Bhagavad Gita? Just three things.
Okay. What are the three things? Well, the first of all, have full confidence in yourself that you are capable of doing anything. So your question is, what are the three things we should be doing? Develop a confidence in yourself that I have come from a heritage, I've been created in this heritage based on my previous karmas. So let my karmas be such that in my future lives I become more and more involved with the spiritualities. Because the final purpose of life is very simple. Maybe I was going to leave it for future programs, but very quickly, because you asked me a very good question here, the purpose of the final purpose of life is to go back where we came from. We are soul in this material body, But we have come from that grand power which is called Brahman. We have been put in this material world. Just like if you think of a fountain, where does all the water come? The little nozzle at the bottom of the fountain throws all the water all in the atmosphere. And what that water has eventually to do, what it does, it goes back to the bottom where it came from. Think of all those droplets, mini droplets, as souls who are venturing in this entire planet, taking birth and rebirth and rebirth. Just water is going through the plates of a fountain, dwindling and then coming down and dwindling and coming down and finally reach the bottom. The purpose of life, final purpose, is to go back where we came from. We can only do that with our karmas. When our karmas are such that they are based on the principle of, please listen this word very carefully, unattachment. Not attachment, not a detachment, but something in between. Asakti and virakti, in between. Attachment, detachment. Everybody say, oh, well, that's it. No, sir. We are attachment and detachment are two ends. The fulcrum of a lever. The middle, which is called unattachment. Our life, eventually our karmas, how we should be living, is with this principle of unattachment. Again, it's very vastly covered in my book. It's this word called anasakti in Bhagavad Geeta. Anasakti, sangya, asangya. A lot of words have been used for that in Bhagavad Geeta. Eventually, Bhagavad Gita can be described in one word. It's called unattachment. We should be living with the principle of unattachment. Means whatever you do with the feeling that whatever is being done through your body is being done by that power Brahman. We are working on his orders, but in between we have an enemy which is called mind. And that mind's job is for us to do things so we do not go back where we come from. So he makes us do things. Like we say in English, the devil made me do that, right? So again, that is a whole new subject. And I do hope that you will allow me to come back and speak on unattachment. That is the magic word, single magic word we should be following in our life. There will be problems, but you will feel no problems. You will feel no hurt. You will feel no sadness, no pain. You will be bright, and you will be able to lead your life beautifully. Unattachment. Do you know that word doesn't even exist in dictionary? If you go and you put in Wikipedia say unattachment, it takes you to detachment. Totally incorrect, because entire Bhagavad Gita is simply based on the principle of unattachment. You do your job and let the chips fall where they may. But make sure you do your job right. So what is the result? There is no problem. Sukh dukh shamay kratva labha labho jaya jayo tado yudhaya vijasva naivam papam vapsasi. If you deal your profit, loss, fame, unfame, happiness, sadness, if you bring yourself to a level where everything seems same to you, you go through that just like going through a shopping mall and not buying anything. Well, there's a very, you might have heard this particular ghazal years ago. It was, दुनिया में हूँ दुनिया का तलबगार नहीं हूँ बाजार से गुजरा हूँ खरीदार नहीं हूँ shopping without buying. Wow. So that principle is important. So the main thing, not only three things, there's only one thing is required, Prasad Bhai, just one thing, and that is our karma should be unattached. Means you do your best, and then stop. Then let things happen. But make sure you're doing your honest best in any situation. And then it's up to him. I mean, so many people read and study and work hard, and some fail, and some get first class, and some get, second or third or whatever, even though everybody's trying to work hard. So your destiny will give you what you deserve, but you will only get it if you do the proper karma. There are 5 types of karma. We can explain that sometime in future. Thank you.
Just a quick follow-up question.
Yes, please.
Is there is also, after any puja or anything we do, we have a custom of saying Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. So it's not mine, or Neti Neti from the Veda time. So how is that related to unattachment? Because we say it's not mine. What I'm doing is offering to Shri Krishna.
Yes, exactly. When you do bhavan, when you do havan, when you read the shlokas, what do you say at the end? You say a shlok, for example, Om Bhur Swaha Tasaviturenium Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Swaha Idam Agnei Jatsvedasi Idanamam. Means I am offering this Idanamam. I am not doing it. It's not mine. I'm not attached to it. I'm just doing it. Idam Agnei Jatsvedasi Idanamam. Idanamam. This is not me who's doing it. This is not mine. That is unattachment. Of course, you are doing yajna for a purpose.
So one more question, Subhashji, here.
Haji.
So Madhuraji is asking, is there any mantra or meditation technique to practice unattachment?
Okay. Yes, there is. And I need some, I have that information, but I need to make a lot of introduction before I do that. When a surgeon goes to operate, he just doesn't go and take a knife and cuts it, right? He first scrubs himself, right? And the patient has to be, anesthetically, organized, etc. So yes, there is, but before even you use it, there are some preconditions. And believe me, it works. I'm almost 83 years old, and I have been practicing, not practicing, but following these principles for the last 30 years, and I just cannot thank the great power enough to bring me into that.
So one more question from Madhuraji. Subhash, just one last one, because we are past the hour. One last question and then we'll stop. How would we introduce this unattachment principle to younger children or youth? Very simply. It has to be simple, obviously, right? So
it is very simple. You have to do it with your own actions. So, and you can do that. That principle, first of all, you have to learn it for yourself. And then, secondly, you have to spend time with your children and say, hey, listen, I want to talk to you. No, Dad, I'm not interested. No, son, sit down. We don't do that. We let children do what they want to do. We are afraid sometimes even to bother them. And then when they ask the question, we don't have the answer. This unattachment is the easiest explainable things. But it cannot be done in one in 5 minutes or 2 minutes, because right now our mind is. I want everybody to be hopefully engrossed in what we have discussed so far, and we can talk about it. It will probably take a whole program to do that, and I'm willing to do that at your permission.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you, Subhashji. So by this we can conclude our talk for today. This is only a comma, and we'll continue. It's not a full stop. I'm hoping that you can come back. You have multiple topics to talk about.
Yes, sir.
Thank you
No problem.
thank you everyone for joining, and we'll have Subhashji again with us, and we look forward to you joining us back in our next seminar, probably in a couple of weeks. Thank you so much, and Shubha Deepavali to everybody, and Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Dhanyavad.